welcome to episode 6 of the E46 M3 budget build. And as we speak right now, they're actually getting ready to take out the front and rear windows because those need to be taken out in order to get that roll cage built. And then I'm going to update you guys on a lot of the other work that Stephan has been doing, and he's been killing it on this car, man. And yeah, as much as I wish I could literally be here at the shop every day and just be, you know, doing everything with them, I have to work and run my business. So yeah, I mean, I'm trying my best to be here as often as possible. So they were saying that the front window might not be able to be saved because it's, would you say dual pane?
It's laminated glass. Laminated glass,
okay. And the rear window, they said for sure tempered, so that way this will be saved 100%. But you know what, if the front breaks, so be it. Yeah, and that's fine. I don't care about the moldings. These are all shot anyway. Hey, look at these pros. They saved the windshield. Nice.
Hey, that's why I called those guys. I knew they'd save it for you, bro. Come on.
That's it, man. You called the right people. Well done, guys.
Hello.
Yeah. Nice.
There's no,
Alright, so like I was saying, Stephan went ahead and shaved off all of these things in the engine bay that we didn't need to clean it up a little bit. And then he got rid of this big plate right here, because if you guys are familiar with the E46 platform, you'll know that there's a big plate that sits here and there's an open gap that really serves no purpose. And because we're not sure which way we're routing the turbo exhaust manifold yet, we figured we'd open it up, clean it up, and then maybe even route it that way. So he did all that. And then Stephan also started working on the engine. So on the 2J, he took off the stock turbo setup, which is sitting right here because we're going single turbo, of course. He went ahead and did all of that. Took him a couple hours. I'm also not sure which manifold I'm going with yet, so if you guys have any input on that, please let me know. And then in terms of turbo size, I also am not sure yet, so these things I'll be figuring out soon. And then I think we're also going to go ahead and do some of the maintenance on here while the engine's out, so we'll get a new tensioner, water pump, look into the timing belt, and then the alternator possibly as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is disassemble the SMG pump with all the lines and then clean up the transmission a little more, probably hose it down, wipe it down, and get it looking as good as possible. We also went ahead and took off this gorgeous two-piece tranny mount, as Stephan called it, so if anyone wants this, custom for sale. 420G's all cleaned up. Look how pretty she looks. Cleaned up well. So check out Stephan putting in some work right now. He's making some custom exhaust piping for his Mini Cooper, which I still have to show you guys and do like a whole video on that by itself, but it is just straight insanity. Alright guys, so now I'm actually going to start buffing out all of the residue that's left from the sound deadening, get that cleaned up so we can have that all smoothed out before we start actually putting in the roll cage. Alright, so let me show you guys how much I've done so far, and I'll be honest, this is like the parts of the build that are tedious and not the most fun, but it has to get done, so, you know, why complain? But this is how it's looking so far. It doesn't look pretty, obviously, but at least the surface is smoothed out on this side compared to this side where it's still really rough. So once we prime all of this, then it should be okay and you won't see a bunch of lumps in there. Okay, so now that I've got a little work done on the car, I'm going to spend the remainder of this video going over how much I've spent so far and what I've spent it on. And I'm actually a little excited and nervous to check this out because I haven't done the math myself yet. I've been saving it for this video. So let's get into it and see what the breakdown looks like. So I've also been keeping tabs in my phone, and so here, as you can tell, there's not a whole lot written currently, but let's go ahead and go about the amount spent right now. Like I said, car, originally complete car with the engine and everything, I spent $2,000. Then the 2JZ, spent $1,900, battery $150, engine mounts $160, trans mounts $200, rear sump oil pan $350, wastegate $320, fuel rail $165, blow off valve $230, injectors $620, turbo $650, the transmission adapter, clutch, and flywheel spent $1,000. And I'm gonna be doing like a whole unboxing for a lot of these new parts because they look gorgeous, and I'll save that for the next video. But this is what I've spent so far. Labor I have not included in here because there's still a lot in the air when it comes to labor, since I have buddies helping me out with the car and we haven't, you know, come up with an exact price yet. A lot of work we're in the middle of still, so the labor will go up on that. So that I'm gonna actually end up adding to all of this at the end of the series, so you know like the overall total. But for now, that's what I've spent. And then, oh, interior I spent, so yeah, interior I spent for the steering wheel and quick release $150, harnesses $200, and then the self-centering shifter $370. Okay, so I just did the math, and after adding everything up, it came out to $8,465. Now, I'm actually pretty impressed because I really did think I spent more than that already. And so, yeah, that's where we're at. Now, the best part is I get to deduct money from this right now because of, like I said, when I bought the E46 M3, it was complete, it had an engine, it had all the original interior. And so I made sure that when I stripped the car, I kept as many of the pieces in as good of condition as possible. And so I got, you know, the engine sold, I got a bunch of interior parts sold, like the door panels and the speakers, and a bunch of other miscellaneous parts. And so all of that I'll deduct right now and tell you what the final amount spent is. Here's all of what I've sold added up, which that $1,500 was the engine, and then all this other stuff pretty much was interior stuff. But look at that. So far I've made back $2,235, which is not bad at all, and I still have a bunch of stuff to sell. And so you deduct that from the $8,465 that I've spent, and so really I've only spent $6,230. So with that said, I'm just grateful that I haven't blown over the budget within like the first month already. And I know a lot of other stuff is gonna add up coming up here soon, but at least we are still within budget. And I mean, we have almost $4,000 to work with if we really stay within that $10,000 budget. And so, yes, next episode is going to be insane, guys. It's going to be the whole roll cage that's going to go into the car and be custom built. I'll be documenting that whole thing, and then everything else. The engine should be going in fairly soon as well. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you to everyone who has been a part of this build so far. I really appreciate you guys. Obviously, this wouldn't be possible without you. So thanks for your support. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe with this video, because the more of you guys that watch, the more people get involved, and the better this build will turn out. So until next video, guys, peace. See ya.